Well met, well met. Hey, what's going on? It's Tech Maki, and this is my vision series for Yun. Now, Yun is a FFBE specific character, so his lore isn't very rich. But from what we do know, when he was a child, his village was attacked by monsters, and everyone was killed, except for himself and a young chocobo, baby chocobo. So, like every good tragic story that starts, they became the best of friends, and they took care of each other. Eventually, he leaves the ruins of his village and goes on a journey. Through this journey, he gets rigorous training, just walking around and killing monsters, because that's his thing to do. He loves killing monsters. He needs to seek revenge on every monster, everywhere. So, that's what he does. He runs around the world on this massive journey to rid the world of monsters, and his chocobo assists him, and he protects people inadvertently by killing more monsters. And a lot of people look up to him, they admire him, and eventually he does fall. But it's not to a monster, he falls to illness. But rumor has it his chocobo, his best friend, which we're going to call Boko, because any unnamed chocobo needs that name, right? Anyway, Boko stays by his side until the very end. But in this game, he's well and good as a vision, and he comes in as a 5-star base, and he does get upgraded to 6-star. His best, or actually, he's a chocobo rider. Sorry about that. He's a chocobo rider, and he fulfills the role of damage dealer. His best stats are HP and attack. And then for abilities, he has a very unique kit, and we're gonna go over a big chunk of it, because I think some of these skills are worth talking about for a second. First off, we have Beast Killer. We all know damage up versus beasts by 50%. Good skill. Next up, we have Chakra. We have other characters that have this, namely monks, which is a recover HP and MP by 30% and cures poison and blind for himself. Pretty good skill right there. Next up, we have Run Friend Run, which is one of these things that we should talk about for a second. It's an interesting skill. It's a good skill, depending on what you're doing. So if you're trying to level him up, having the skill active is probably not the best thing if you're running explorations. But it can be good if you're just trying to run through certain events, especially in tandem with Diablos's encounter rate down. But I would probably level him up specifically with Gigantors, or throwing a growth egg and going in the vortex. Anyway, next up we have No Pressure Friend. This is attack up by 50% if he's equipped with cloth or light armor. Next we have 2-hit combo. Turns his normal attack into 2-hit attacks, or 2-hit attacks. So he gets to attack twice per turn with this passive. Next we have Blazing Heart. It's fire physical damage to all enemies. It's a pretty cool skill. There's nothing bad about having elemental abilities on there. Next up we have Angry Peck, which is physical damage with ignored defense. Ignore defense by 25%. It's single target attack, and this is greatness because we get to see his chocobo smack a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Next up we have Crimson Rage, which is a power up next attack times 3. It's a times 3 multiplier on his thing, with fire resist up by 30% and lasts for 3 turns. Pretty cool skill right there. Then we have Friendship, which is immunity to sleep and paralyze, and confuse. And then we have Ambition, which is critical hit rate up by 40%. Now this, in conjunction with Crimson Rage, or one of the skills I'm going to talk about in a second, it can be really powerful when tying these things together with other skills, or with his with his base attack and whatnot. So either way. Then we have Raging Chocobo. It's physical damage, single target. Nothing better again than having the chocobo just run around and slapping people, or pecking people, or whatever, scratching the hell out of them. Then we have Inferno Rage. This is the other skill I was talking about. It's power up next attack by either 4 times or 8 times. Very interesting skills he has. Then we have Blazing Combo, which is fire physical damage with ignored defense by 25%, and fire resist down for a single enemy by 30%, and it lasts for 3 turns. I just want to note, I like that icon. Pretty cool fist. Anyway, next we have his Limit Burst. It's called the Golden Talisman, and it's physical damage with ignored defense by 50% and decreased defense by 40%. Lasts for 2 turns on 1 enemy. I like skills like this, you know, kind of like Lightning's and a couple others. Next up, we have his Trustmaster Award, which I just want to state it's an 8-piece or 8-star chess piece, and it's a very nice piece, especially for monks. And I'm looking really at Prish for it later on down the road. Can't wait to do her Vision series when she gets released in the game. This is going to help her out a lot. But next, either way, it's called the Crimson Slayer. And the stats are on defense plus 52, fire resist plus 25%, and then it has a passive called Fist of Fire. And its attack up by 30% when equipped with a fist weapon. Very nice piece of gear for monks that can equip it. Here's Not Looking at You, Snow, and a couple others. Anyway, next are the Espers, and these are the Espers I would think are the best ones for him, especially in the builds that I have. First we have Ifrit, and then we have Diablos. Ifrit for the pure damage, Diablos again for the Man-Eater. And then for the builds, we have the first one, low end, called the Wanderer. You're going to be using the Tamer's Whip, Esuchion, Tiger's Mask, Black Belt Key, Hero's Ring, Unusual Artifact, and then 4 times attack plus 10%. You're going to come in with 4,803 HP, 498 attack, and 270 defense. I think this is a really cool build for just starting off, and if you really want to, you have the available hero rings, though I didn't change it in here. With maximum pots, you could switch out the unusual artifact, and you can get, with a hero ring of course, and get another, I think, 3 attack, but I don't know if it's worth the, time. Either way, next up, we have, with the max pots, you have 5,330 HP, attack is at 576, and your defense goes up to 304, so you're starting to step into tank defense range soon. But the next one is our first high-end build. It's called the Rouge Avenger, or the Rouge Avenger. You have HP at 4,627. Your defense is now at 424, so you are actually officially in tank level defense now. And your attack is at 821 with the setup. You're running 2 Kaiser Knuckles, Black Cowl, Crimson Slayer, double Champions Belt, dual wield. So you can wear those Kaisers, and then you have 3 lunge combos. Now, if you want to step out of tank range, you can always drop the Seals of Destruction on there for the HP boost. It still puts him reasonably in tank range, and he has a good HP bump, but that's entirely up to you. And then with maximum pots, he has 5,134 HP, 480 defense, so he can sit there and take a beating, and then his attack goes up to 929. I know a lot of people are on this double hand chain or train, but I think using the dual wield would be better. Anyway, next up we have his arena build. This one's called the Flames of the Rooster, in recognition of the Lunar New Year event, for Year of the Rooster. HP comes in at 5,675. You have 652 attack, which I know some people are going to say is a little high. But honestly, with the gear setup, it was kind of almost impossible for me to get it lower and switch it out to that where he would, still be effective. Anyway, his defense is at 409. So really, with this setup, he's more of a tank killer than anything else. He's going to hurt everybody, but now he can really destroy tanks that have that crazy high defense. But you're going to be running the Winged Saint, which, for the defense boost, Deathbringer for the Man-Eater, Black Cowl, Crimson Slayer again, double Champion's Belt, equip Large Sword, dual wield, Discernment, so you can get that complete immunity to status afflictions, and the HP plus 30%. Now, with maximum pots, you're going to have 6,020 or 6,299 HP, 454 defense. So again, he's going to be able to sit in the arena and get beat on. He should be able to survive pretty well. And your attack's at 736, so you should really, tank should always hit, or you should always hit a tank at 999. I think this is a pretty decent build for the arena. Granted, it takes some very interesting TMs to get to this. Plus, you'd have to have access to Winged Saint to maximize the defense. Otherwise, you can always throw on, another Kaiser Knuckle or something if you really wanted to for the Winged Saint slot. But anyway, if you have any questions about the builds, you want to make any comments about the builds, you go ahead and drop them in the comments down below. And if you like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. For future content, go ahead and subscribe. And you can find me on Twitch as usual. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Maki out.